Today, we're diving into a really powerful mental framework, one designed for making better decisions when the stakes are incredibly high. It's all about building a personal operating system to help you navigate all the chaos out there, not by working harder, but by thinking with a whole new level of clarity. And it all kicks off with one simple, crucial question.
And this is it. This is the question that cuts right to the heart of everything. Think about it for a second. Are you deliberately, methodically building a system for success? Or are you just kind of gambling, hoping you'll hit a specific goal? The difference between those two approaches is, well, it's everything.
And that difference leads to two totally different identities. Over on the left, you've got the goal seeker. This person is run by emotion, by FOMO, fear of missing out. They chase every shiny new opportunity. But on the right, you have the capital allocator. They're driven by a clear inventory of what they have and what they can risk. Their number one priority isn't just winning, it's staying in the game long enough to win. It's a huge shift from being reactive to being deliberate.
So how in the world do you actually make that shift? Well, it all starts with adopting a completely new philosophy. And you've heard it a million times, but it's true. This is not about grinding more hours. It's about a complete upgrade to your entire thought process. It's about thinking differently.
And this right here is the core belief of a capital allocator. You'd think the goal is to be the smartest person in the room, right? Nope. The real goal is to build a system so robust, so resilient, that you simply outlast everyone else who's taking wild, reckless chances. Survival always, always comes before success.
And this just lays it out perfectly. This is the new order of operations. First, you guarantee your survival. You plug the leaks in your ship, you build a stable foundation. Only then, once you're safe, do you start to accumulate more resources. And only after that is secure do you even think about hitting the gas and accelerating your growth. See, trying to accelerate from a shaky foundation, well, that's just a recipe for a spectacular crash.
Okay, so here's the blueprint. This is how you actually build it. The system is made of 5 distinct layers, and you have to build it methodically from the ground up. You just can't skip steps. You can't start with the roof. You have to pour the foundation first. So let's just quickly walk through these. Layer 1, that's your foundation. You got to take an honest look at what you actually have. Layer 2 is about your direction. Who are you and where are you going? Layer 3 is all about defense. It's a filter to stop you from making catastrophic mistakes. Layer 4, that's your engine, building the internal drive to actually execute. And only then, once all that is in place, do you get to Layer 5, applying leverage to accelerate. You can see how each one rests on the one before it. All right, let's dive into Layer 1 because you can't have a strategy without a brutally honest inventory. And capital here means so much more than just money. We're talking about your internal capital, your mindset, your discipline, your personal stress limit, your social capital. Think about it. Who in your life builds you up versus who just drains you? Even deciding who to get coffee with is a transaction. And finally, your information capital, your ability to actually separate the useful signal from all the distracting noise out there. Now, this is the law for Layer 3, that defensive filter, and it is absolutely 100% crucial. Think about your worst decisions. I bet emotion was in the driver's seat, right? Fear, greed, overconfidence. They make us do dumb things. A system acts like a circuit breaker. It forces you to slow down and use a logical process that quite literally protects you from your own worst impulses. Okay, so this sounds great in theory, but how do you actually start? Well, here's a simple 90-day protocol. For the first 30 days, you do nothing new. You just take inventory and lock down your foundation. The next 30 days, you stabilize and you build your defenses. And only in that final 30-day block do you begin small, controlled tests of your new system. So, once you've started building this internal system, how do you apply it to the outside world? Well, the key is to start reframing life itself as a strategic game, one that has clear rules, other players, and specific objectives in every single interaction. Now, the core assumption here is that every interaction is a transaction. I know that might sound a little cold, but hear me out. You are always exchanging some form of your capital, your time, your money, your attention, for some kind of outcome. A capital allocator doesn't let these exchanges happen by accident. They make them deliberate. And these games take place across 3 different arenas. Arena 1 is you, your internal world, your systems. Arena 2 is all the other players you interact with, your partners, your competitors, everyone. And Arena 3 is the big picture, the laws, the culture, the technology that sets the rules for everybody. You have to understand all 3 to play the game well.
So what kind of game are you actually playing at any given time? It usually boils down to one of two types. In a positive-sum game, working together actually makes the pie bigger for everyone. Think of a great business partnership that creates something brand new. But in a zero-sum game, you're just fighting over a fixed pie. One person's gain has to be another's loss. Knowing which game you're in is absolutely critical. And this leads us to maybe the most powerful idea in this entire framework. The greatest strategic advantage you can have doesn't come from outsmarting or outworking your opponents. It comes from choosing to play in games where the rules are already tilted in your favor from the very beginning. This little chart shows you exactly what's at stake. Look at the top left. When you cooperate with someone else who's cooperating, you get a positive-sum outcome. Everyone wins, the pie gets bigger. But look at the top right. If you cooperate while they compete, you get exploited. They drain your capital. In the bottom right, that's just a disaster. Two competitors go head-to-head, and it becomes a negative-sum game where both of you just bleed resources and lose. That leaves the bottom left, where you win at their expense, which is a risky and often very short-sighted play. The big takeaway here is this. That top left box, the golden quadrant where everyone cooperates, that is the only game that builds sustainable, compounding wealth, trust, and power over the long haul. That's the game you want to be playing almost all of the time. Which brings us to a super simple, powerful rule for how you allocate your resources. The idea is that 80% of your capital, your time, your energy, your money, should go into these safe, compounding, positive-sum games. Only 20% should be set aside for those high-risk, high-upside bets. This protects your core while still giving you a shot at massive growth. So, before you make any big decision, just run through this quick mental checklist. 1. What game am I actually in? 2. Who else is playing? 3. What is the single most important thing I'm trying to get out of this? And 4, and this is the big one, what is the absolute maximum I am willing to lose if this all goes sideways? And let's wrap up with the final law, which really summarizes this entire way of thinking. Stop trying to win just by grinding harder. Start winning by choosing better games to play in the first place. That, right there, is the ultimate form of leverage. So I'll just leave you with this one last question to think about. In your life, your career, your investments, are you deliberately and strategically trading your capital for more power, more freedom, and more security? Or are you unconsciously just letting that same capital leak away to fear, to greed, and to your ego? The choice really is yours.